Hello and welcome back. Got a 2-day event going on here. Today we're going to be doing a little different. We're going to be doing the CRJ, and we're going to be taking it all the way up to Albuquerque, same flight we did yesterday. And we have actually have already gotten all of our clearances, and now we are just going to get pushed back and get on the road. So welcome aboard. We're doing the CRJ today. I do like the fly-by-wire, but today we've got a special one just because we've got these new panels now that we just released from Simstrumentaion with all the CRJ stuff. So we've got pretty much a fully mouse-free cockpit from start to finish in the CRJ. So we're going to be doing that today, and we're going to be getting our pushback. So let's go ahead and get going on that. I use toolbar pushback quite often. I hear lots of good things and a lot of bad things, so sometimes I have trouble with it, sometimes I don't. Here lately I have not, so I say that, knock on wood. I also did get my camera set up so you can kind of follow along with this with the camera right there. Make it a little bit more enjoyable for you guys, so you guys can kind of see what the setup looks like. Once we get up to cruise, we'll take you on a little tour of the sim. So go ahead and request pushback.
This is ground. Stand by.
The 3 Bravo Echo, connect NorCal approach 121.3.
121.3, Cessna 3 Bravo Echo. NorCal approach, Cessna 733 Bravo Echo, 4000.
Or 733 Bravo Echo, NorCal approach, half moon bay, altimeter 3023.
Okay, sir.
3023, thanks, Cessna 3 Bravo Echo.
Doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Alright, so go ahead and start our engines. The only thing I don't like about the CRJ is I haven't figured out a command, I guess, to switch this on and push this little button here to get the throttles to go up. So need to do a little more research and try to figure out a way to put that on.
United 1180, descend and maintain 16,000.
Barrow set.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set. Ground.
And fuel
Startup
flow's
is
good.
complete. You may disconnect.
Roger. Good engine start. Cleared to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Alright. Good engine start, so we'll go ahead and start the number 2 engine. Getting our landing elevation all set up here. It says that in the checklist, but I would think you would do that once you get up to cruise, but...
United 1180, connect big sky approach 119.6.
Just following the checklist. So, once we're going to Albuquerque, so Albuquerque is about 5,500 feet. Z 5000 something. So let's get that set. That's a lot of scrolling.
Big Sky approach, good day, United 1180, flight level 270, descending 16,000, and we have information uniform at Boise. United 1180 Heavy, Big Sky approach, good evening, the altimeter 3002, do you have an approach request? United 1180 would like the VOR runway 10 left from Hummish. With a circle to land, runway 26 right. At 1180, expect that.
We are almost there. 1,000 feet to go. That's a lot of spinning for the landing elevation in this airplane. It only goes up by 20s.
United 1180 Heavy cross Hemish, shutter above 5,000, cleared, VOR, runway 10
so
left approach. You can expect a circle for runway 28 right.
Let's get our little navigraph pulled up here.
Or above 5,000, clear VOR, runway 10 left approach, and we'll expect the circle, United 1180 Heavy.
And let's go ahead and turn our beacon on, strobes on, logo lights on. And EPU, we can go ahead and turn that off. Right, hand nose wheel steering is on, and that's good for takeoff or for taxiing. All right, so let's go ahead and taxi on up to the line.
Bravo Echo, turn right heading 290.
Right to 290, Cessna 3 Bravo Echo.
Looks like we got a little bit of clouds out there today. And Phoenix Ground, American or Air Shuttle 5835 with information. Alpha is at Charlie 10, requesting runway 8 if possible.
Air Shuttle 5835, Phoenix Ground, runway 8, taxi Charlie 10 Bravo.
Charlie 10 Bravo to runway 8 for Air Shuttle 5835, thanks. And we've got our taxi lights on. And we've been cleared to taxi via Charlie 10 up into Bravo. Looks clear to the right, looks clear to the left. Right here is Charlie 10, and then we'll take a left on Bravo. And a ground performance on this has been just absolutely horrendous. But as soon as you take off and get like 1,000 feet in the air, I don't know what that guy's doing that just crossed those little streams, but yeah, the ground performance is absolutely horrible. Normally I'd never have any issues with any of this stuff, but seems to be that way today. And so tower's going to be our next frequency. We'll get all that programmed here in just a second. I think this is a very underrated airplane. I know that the Phoenix, the PMDG, and the fly-by-wire all overshadow it, but this plane is a lot of fun to fly. I think it's a little bit more demanding a little bit, just because you don't have auto throttles. You've got to be able to, you know, manage the speeds on your own, and then fly this. So I wonder if this guy's going to stop. Probably not, so let's get out of his way. Thanks, dude. So, but yeah, so it's a very good airplane. Actually, some of my best landings that I've ever done in the simulator has been in this airplane. It's just a lot of fun to fly. We spent a lot of time on all these panels. We have basically the entire overhead, which I don't know if you guys can quite see it on the camera, but over here on the left I have another one of these bigger iPads, and it has the full overhead panel, and that's in the cockpit, to where all that is touchscreen. All these are touchscreen. This is touchscreen, and then I just have a little side monitor for charts and other stuff and such. So, and then we also have a full pedestal. I just don't have the screen real estate to be able to place it anywhere. So it kind of stinks, but I really wish I had, you know, I needed 2 more touch screens to have 5 touch screens. It's crazy to think about, but it is. So, but yeah, this airplane's a lot of fun to fly. I enjoy it. We'll be getting on our way here shortly.
Smith 3 Bravo Echo, flighting 270.
270, Cessna 3 Bravo Echo.
First time I've really flown out of Phoenix and seen a bunch of clouds here. Normally it's always clear. So kind of nice to be able to do some IMC.
Smith 3 Bravo Echo, clear direct Fujis, cross it at 3,100, cleared and runway 12 approach.
Clear direct Fuchs, cross outer above 3,100, clear for the ILS for the RNAV approach, Cessna 3 Bravo Echo.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but that's a little loud, so let's that turned down. As far as the voices and stuff like that, so I think the ground handling is very good in this airplane. I feel like it handles more true to what and it could be just my rudder pedals and how I have them set up, but compared to the fly-by-wire, the Phoenix, never really flown the PMDG. As you can tell on the channel, that there's probably zero videos of the PMDG. Just never got into the Boeing. And we've never made any instruments. These are the only airliner instruments that we have personally made. I know you've seen lots of people ask about the Phoenix ones that we made, and all we did was just take the ones off of the Innovations forum and just tried to convert those to Phoenix. But Phoenix went out of their way to make sure that nobody could really code instruments or anything like that for it, so it's kind of pointless to even try. I know a lot of people did. We were able to successfully get the MCDU fixed up for it, but the other one, there's no way to get any other instruments or anything like that. It's too difficult, so, which is alright by me. I like this airplane. It's a fun airplane to fly. So, looks like we've got someone coming in now. don't know if that's the artifacts, because usually the artifacts I usually got with DX12, but I'm on DX11 currently, so not exactly sure. So we'll go ahead and stop here, get a hold of tower, and Phoenix Tower is 118.7.
United 1180, contact Boise Tower.
Over to tower, United 1180.
And then he said departure's going to be 119.2. We'll go ahead and get that queued up.
Boise Tower, United 1180 is heavy, is on the VOR approach inbound, request circle.
United 1180, Boise Tower, circle south, enter left downwind, runway 28 right. Runway
Alright,
28
let's grab our
right.
checklist.
Circle
And
south.
before
left
takeoff,
28
landing
right,
lights are
28 right,
on.
clear to land, United 1180 heavy.
Strobes are on. And beacon and taxi light check is on. Fuel flow is on manual. TCASs are good. Radar, we're good. Alright. We're good. And Phoenix Tower, Air Shuttle 5835 is holding short of runway 8, ready for departure.
United 5835, Phoenix Tower, runway 8, cleared for takeoff.
And that's Air Shuttle 5835, not United. Are you still talking to us?
I'm sorry, yeah. Air Shuttle 5835, runway 8, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 8, Air Shuttle 5835, and no worries, just wanted to double check. Alright, so we are being given the good to go.
Bravo Echo, report traffic cancellation on the ground 122.2, change to advisory frequency approved.
Change to advisory approved, and I'll contact you on the ground. Cessna 3 Bravo Echo.
And final looks clear. And we'll press hold, we'll push on our engines up to 50%. Fuel flow looks good, oil pressures look good, oil temperatures look good, we're good. Takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. Passing 100 knots. And V1. And rotate. Positive rate, gear up. And we're going to VS that at 3,600 feet, or 3,600 feet per minute. And we're going to slowly bring her down. About 2,000 feet per minute. Let her accelerate. And we'll go flaps 1.
Air Shuttle 5835, contact departure.
Over to departure, Air Shuttle 5835. And we'll go to flaps 0. And we'll come back to the climb descent. And Phoenix departure, Air Shuttle 5835 is with you on the Forbes 1 to departure.
Air Shuttle 5835, Phoenix departure, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 210.
Climb and maintain flight level 210, and we are passing through 4,400 for flight level 210. And off we go. And we'll go ahead and get our after takeoff checklist. Let's make sure we turn here at Sparky, where we're supposed to be. And we will climb in speed mode, and we will reduce that speed. It's about 270. Getting ready to go IMC, so we will go ahead and turn off manual override on the fuel. Flaps are retracted, fuel flows on auto, thrust reversers are coming off. And lights as required, we'll go ahead and leave our landing and everything on. And passenger signs, we're going to go through some clouds, so probably going to be some turbulence inside of it, so we will go ahead and leave those, keep the passengers buckled up, keep them safe. So zooming out a little bit, so off we go. Expect to see a greasy landing on your pyre up later. Hey, what's going on, Matt? Yeah, this one's usually better than the fly-by-wire. The fly-by-wire, I for some reason can't seem to get it under 150 really. I've gotten a couple good ones that were like 156 or something, but I just can't land that one. But yes, my pyre up will have something around I'm hoping around a 40 or a 50. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very much. Good to see the American Airlines family joining. Had Thomas on yesterday. So you out doing any flying tonight, Matt? And there comes some blue skies. Go ahead and sync up our heading bug. And we're through 10,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and turn all our lights off, and we'll turn our logo light off. And once we get a little bit higher, we'll go ahead and allow the passengers to take off their seatbelts, but for now we'll keep them buckled up. Now that you said something about a greasy landing, man, I can't confirm that will be the case.
At 1180 Alpha to parking, monitor ground.
Alpha to parking, monitor ground. Thank you for everything. United 1180 Heavy.
Air Shuttle 5835, contact Albuquerque Center 134.32.
134.32, Air Shuttle 5835. And Albuquerque Center Air Shuttle 5835 is climbing through 116,000 for flight level 210.
Air Shuttle 5835, Albuquerque Center, maintain flight level 310.
Up to flight level 310 for Air Shuttle 5835. Oh man, that stinks. 3 solo stage check studying to do. Oh, getting ready to do the solo. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Well, hopefully you can get over the flu so you can go get your solo done. I know that they wouldn't let me solo till I got the written done. Is that kind of the case that you got to do for you as well? We'll go ahead and reset our Barrow to 2992 standard. And it looks like it's nice outside, so we'll go ahead and turn off the, let's leave the no smoking sign on, but we're going to turn the seatbelt signs off. So let's kind of take a look at this new Navigraph 8 version 8 or whatever it's called. So this is kind of what it's got going on now. Kind of nice. You got these little tabs down here that you can just click on where they've already pinned it for you as far as your arrival and all that different stuff. So which is kind of cool. So you can kind of keep up with the flight. Only thing I didn't like is that it didn't tell me like any of the comms of what the frequencies are or anything like that. But I know they're usually up on the charts and stuff like that. So which is kind of cool. So I got a little bit more messing around to do with it, but it's pretty cool so far from what I've seen. Pretty nice. Well, good luck with your pre-solo, I guess, test. Oh yeah, yep. That's one thing that I guess I could have done a little differently whenever I did my private is I kind of put off the studying part as far as all that stuff and kind of got behind a little bit when it came to that. But yeah, you can never study the material enough. It's always good knowledge, that's for sure, because it will come back to bite you. No matter if you've got your instrument check right or your commercial or any of those. It was kind of funny whenever I did my oral for my multi-engine. He asked me a simple question and had to do with the instrument and one of the instruments, and he was asking me what ran not the altimeter because that's DC. It was basically, the answer was the suction gauge, and I could not think of it for the life of me because I said the pitot tube, and that wasn't right. And he's like, nope, it's not that. He's like, is there anything else? And then finally, I looked it up in my book, and like, oh yeah, it was a freaking vacuum gauge. Yeah, the CFIs, they're basically the ones technically signing you off. I know the DPE, whenever you go with him, he just gets to do one check ride with you, so it's quite of a lot responsibility for CFI to be able to say yes, he's good to go solo or he's good to go take a check ride. Seems like it's a lot of responsibility to put on a young pilot to say whether somebody's safe or not safe. But yeah, hammer the books. The books is something that would be my advice to any student out there that's doing training for their private or anything like that. Is knowledge is key. You never have too much knowledge of an airplane. I still learn stuff today. I've got 220 hours, 230 hours, somewhere in there. Looks like we got about an 80 knot tailwind up here. That's kind of nice. So let's go ahead and get some of this stuff programmed for our descent, because it comes up quick when you do a short flight like this. And let's check the weather real quick before we do that, because I learned that if you load a arrival, then set all the stuff that you need to set into the FMS, and then you turn around and go back and select a different approach, it erases all that stuff that you did. So and we're coming up on 1,000 to go, coming up on 31,260. So I bet we're going to be landing 2-6. Let's see what we got set up in here. We'll get that here in a second. Let's get set up cruise. We're looking on an KABQ 12 knots gusting to 20. Oh, that will be kind of a fun one. That'll test the knowledge. Altitude capture. And we'll set cruise power. So used to the fly-by-wire where you can just pull it back to the climb detent and just leave it there because you got auto throttles. Oh, 141, yeah. Yeah, the 141 school is nice just because it's so laid out, and you know, you can definitely fail, but it's a lot more problematic. It's not like you just see a lot of I did 61 for my private, and whenever I would show up to a lesson, I had no clue what we were going to be doing. We'd get up there and be like, all right, we're going to practice stalls. It's like, oh, okay. You know, so it kind of was nice, but then again, it kind of stunk because you never knew what you were going to get whenever you showed up. So it looks like we'll do the RNAV Yankee. Wonder if we could pick up the ATIS from here. Well, let's try that. And let's grab ATIS is 118.0. Since I have the pedestal, I need to find another. Need to set this little screen up on another iPad, so that way I can. That says 118.9. I don't want that. Oh. I don't even know if the COM2 works in this airplane. We will plan for the RNAV 26, and if they change it up, then they change it up. RNAV 26 Yankee, we'll expect vectors. And we can go now to our legs, and see there it already changed the one that I already changed, so I want to be at flight level 210. Go to the next page, that one's 14,000. We'll hit execute. We got discontinuity between Brendo and our autopilot just turned off because we were getting a little bit too fast, so we'll go ahead and slow her down a little bit more. go. All right. Let's take a look at the plate. Team all, flight level 3-5. So we're looking after Brindo. So Brindo is the last fix. Then Krunel. Approach. Alice. Krunel at 6,700. Yep. Alright, that's all set up. Alright. Not allowed. Well, then we'll just delete it and execute that. There we go. So we need to start our descent in about 6 minutes. We're already heading there.
Shuttle 5835, contact Albuquerque Center 134.6.
134.6, Air Shuttle 5835. And Albuquerque Center, Air Shuttle 5835 is with you at flight level 310.
Air Shuttle 5835, Albuquerque Center, descend via Burrito 1 arrival, runway 26 transition.
Alright, we'll descend via the Burrito 1 arrival and expect the runway 26 transition for Air Shuttle 5835. Alright, so let's take a look at the panels that we got here. Well, I guess you probably looking on a phone, so yeah, the Navigraph thing looks really cool. So let's take this and we'll zoom in a little bit. So let's take a look at my setup a little bit here. So these are the panels that we made. Got the landing gear, you've got all that. All this is touchscreen, then you can go down a little bit. All that's touchscreen. You got these two little knobsters, one there and one there. So basically the altitude, how it's yellow, that tells me that that's selected, and I can literally spin that knob just like it's a dual rotary encoder, just like it is in real life in the real airplanes, and two different outer knob and an inner knob. You've got that panel right there, and you got my other iPad over here that has the overhead panel on it, and obviously the honeycomb, and I've got that down there, and I got a little pedestal here that has all my notes and everything. And here's my view, so it goes all the way around me, literally just like a real cockpit. 3 50-inch monitors, goes all the way back around me, back to that side. So this is what my view looks like. As you're flying. So it's a lot of fun. Spent a lot of time and a lot of effort into the simulator. These are all the panels that we made over at SIMSTRUMENTATION. So like I said, all of them are I did all the design work, and then Flight Lever Rob did the coding. And what's cool is so watch this. So if I go into here and I go ahead and turn on the, got 4 minutes, we got time. I turn the weather and change it to dark, to where it's dark outside. Now watch the panels as I start to turn this knob. So I can turn this knob and the panels will start to light up. And then we can go over here and we can do the lighting on this one. Those will light up. And then we can do the lights down here. I have the... Alright, so... Well... Oh, I think I know why. I need to get the... Anyway, the panels will dim automatically with the sunlight. As you can tell, these here, they put a little outer glow on them whenever it gets dark. It actually takes what the sunlight is of the actual simulator and takes what the sunlight of the simulator is and puts it into it automatically dims it, so it does it just like you would if you were in the real airplane. It would dim the lights and do all that stuff, so which is a lot of fun. So go back. You guys don't want to see dark. Dark is, it's just a black screen. Nobody wants to see just a black screen. So, alright, let's go get our checklist. We got descent coming up. So, landing elevation. Go ahead and grab that real quick. And ports. Albuquerque elevation is 5355, so we need to turn that up. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, the Navigraph thing is really cool. Normally I use ForeFlight because that's what I use in real life, but since I use my iPad over here to the left that you just saw for the overhead panel, I can't quite use that for my charts. So, alright, fuel check. We've got 6,000 pounds of fuel, so which is plenty. Burning about 2,300, 2,400 pounds of fuel an hour, and we've got less than an hour. We've got 21 minutes till we'll be on the ground, so we're good there. So descent is good. Approach set. And so yeah, 118.0 is what I have for Albuquerque. Let's double check that. Okay, this is 118.0. That's what I got in COM 2, but for some reason COM 2 is not wanting to listen.
Zero 252 Zulu. Wind 250 at 12, gust 20, visibility 10, sky condition, clear, temperature 15, dew point -7, altimeter 29 or 3, arriving and departing runways 21, 26, visual approaches and use VFR departures, contact clearance delivery, advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Notice to airman runway 1230 close. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Oscar. Albuquerque International Airport. ATIS information, Oscar. 0252 Zulu. Wind 250 at 12, gust 20. Visibility 10. Sky condition.
Missed my descent.
Temperature 15. Dew point -7. Altimeter 29 or 3. Arriving and departing runways 21, 26. Visual approaches and use VFR departures, contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Notice to airman runway 1230 closed. Read all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Oscar.
We've got Oscar.
Albuquerque International Airport. ATIS information on.
All right. And Albuquerque Center, Air Shuttle 5835, we've got information, Oscar for Albuquerque.
Roger.
So heading on down to 21,000. Let's give this. Using my magenta line here to kind of help gauge me to be at 21,000 when I get to Burrito. And we're starting our descent via the Burrito on arrival. And we need to be at 270 knots, which we will be at that no problem. We'll go ahead and set our speed. It's already set at 270. And then X marks will need to be at 250, so which we're still good on. So go ahead and give us a little bit more speed. And we've got about 10 nautical miles till we get to Burrito, passing through 25 flight level 250, so we can go ahead and go on down to 14,000. That's our next crossing altitude. There's 14,000 set in. And we can go ahead and slow our descent rate down. About 2,300 feet per minute. Take a look at the American Virtual paint job. Looks very mighty fine. Nice little cloud layer over there. And altimeter was 2993. We'll go ahead and set that in the inside of here. And now we're making our turn to head on to Elra. Need to be at 14,000 feet, and we should have a heading of about 051. But we've got a straight tailwind, so it should be pretty close to that. And looks like we need to be at 11,000. So speed or altitude going down to 11. And we'll continue our descent rate. We'll go ahead and start slowing down. We need to be at 250 knots, so let's go and set that bug so we know where 250 is. And we'll start slowing us down. We don't want to bust any altitude, so that way our pirate doesn't show that we exceeded 250 knots below 10,000. You don't need any comments coming. Alright, let's go ahead and check our checklist, make sure we haven't missed anything. Got radar on, we've got CAS checked and cleared, no smoking. Let's go ahead and turn on the seatbelt signs as we starting. Landing data, performance.
Air Shuttle 5835, contact Albuquerque approach 123.9er.
123.9er for Air Shuttle 5835s. And Albuquerque approach, Air Shuttle 5835 is back with you, descending through 116,000 for 11,000.
Air Shuttle 5835, Albuquerque approach, Albuquerque altimeter 29er
0.903 for Air Shuttle 5835, thanks. This guy was on last night. What's your thought on Pilot Edge? Is it worth it? Oh, absolutely. And it's as close as you're going to get to what it's like in the real world, that's for sure. VATSIM does a good job, but in where we usually fly, I've never really found coverage, to be honest with you. Very rarely have I ever flown and had coverage the entire flight. That's a nice thing about the Pilot Edge, is that there's always somebody there. So let's go ahead and start slowing us down. We're not quite under the 250. And we're going to go ahead and pull a little bit of speed spoilers. Pull that back just a little bit. Get us under that 250. That way Matt isn't mad at us for busting the 250.
Air Shuttle 5835, expect visual approach runway 26 unless you want to do something else.
Nope, visual will be fine for Air Shuttle 5835 for runway 26.
Roger.
Instant rejection. Now, if that was the case, I'd have had a heck of a lot more rejected, that's for sure. And we can go on down to 10,000. And we can slow our descent rate up a little bit here. Coming through 10,000 feet, we're going to turn our landing lights on, get all that lined up, logo lights on, get us lit up like a Christmas tree. We should be turning to heading a 071. $10,000's coming up. After 10,000, we can go on down to 6,700. $6,700 set up in there. Get back in the speed, get us back up to the 250 as we're coming through. I like to set it at 240 because I always seems like I bust it quite often. So we'll set the speed bug for 240. Alright, we've got Brendo. We'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit on our map here. And not below 10,000, so we'll hold our altitude here. Brandon does it all the time. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I remember whenever I was a assistant hub manager up in Chicago, it seemed like 80% of the ones that came through, somebody busted the speed. I was always putting in the comments, watch your speed.
Shuttle 5835 advise the airport in sight, and the flight present heading, descend and maintain 8,000.
Down to 8,000 and present heading, and we'll be looking for the airport, Air Shuttle 5835. And he said present heading, so we'll go back over to this. And he said descend and maintain 8,000. We'll VS that on down. And we've got the airport right out there in sight. In Air Shuttle 5835, we've got the airport in sight.
Air Shuttle 5835, clear visual approach, runway 26, contact Albuquerque Tower.
Alright, over to Tower and cleared for the visual for runway 26, Air Shuttle 5835, thanks. And Tower, we've got to get that. Is 120.3. Alright. And so landing elevation was 355, so it'd be put us at 6,400. And so we'll go ahead and descend on down to 6,400. And Albuquerque Tower, Air Shuttle 5835 is setting up for a left downwind for runway 26.
Air Shuttle 5835, Albuquerque Tower, runway 26, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 26, Air Shuttle 5835. And we'll go ahead and get everything set up here. Passenger signs are armed, thrusters, reversers. Good, landing gear down, flaps are set. We'll get that set here in just a second. Just start slowing down just a little bit. That right out in front of us is runway 03, so 1,000 to go. And first notch of flaps coming in. Man, it's been a little while since I've had to do a traffic pattern in an airliner, so we'll no promises on this one. And we'll go ahead and go gear down. There's our speed. There's our gear coming down. Gears in transition. And there's our airport in sight. Whoa. And we'll go ahead and start slowly turning in. Flaps are full, gears down, thrust reversers are set, landing lights are on, seatbelts on. We're good. Roll out wings level. And we'll go ahead and start our final turn inbound. And overshot the runway a little bit.
Sink brake. Sink brake.
Pull up. And here we go.
500. Sink brake. 400. Pull up.
I don't need to pull up.
300. Sink brake.
Alright, back on glide slope.
200. Sink brake.
Slowly inching back on the throttles.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And reversers on. And passing through 80 knots. Out of reverse. And welcome to Albuquerque. Yes, very much floaty. But anytime that I have that much of a wind, I usually try to carry a little more speed than at least 10 knots higher. Usually when I cross the numbers in this, I try to cross them about 130 whenever we're getting ready to go back to flight idle, but I carried a little bit more speed in since the winds were stronger, just in case we needed to go missed. But you are 100% right, it was very floaty, and I was almost at the point where I was going to have to go miss because I was floating too far down the runway.
Airshuttle 5835 Alpha to parking, monitor ground.
Alpha to parking, monitor ground for Air Shuttle 5835. And let's go ahead and get ground up. 121.9. And alright, let's grab our after landing checklist. Spoilers retracted. Power on for our APU, it's on. And we'll go ahead and start that sucker up. And it's starting. Transponder set to standby, we'll get there in a second. Radar, we're good. And flaps retracted. Landing lights are off. Strobes off. Logo light off, taxi lights are on, and probes are on. And we'll go ahead and turn thrust reversers off. Alright. Alpha's right out in front of us. Mike will be happy with that landing. Maybe. We will see. Let's go see what it was. I'm curious because it was not one of my finer ones, that's for sure. Ouch. Negative 215. I was on the leaderboard for the best landing for the month. I had negative 46 for October. But That was a horrible landing. It all started with the traffic pattern. The traffic pattern, we got a little slow, almost stalled the aircraft, didn't put in the speed. So that was not good. Yeah, hopefully Mike will approve it. It's seen much worse. I think I've actually, you probably rejected one of mine at one point. I think Mike did, because I was flying the fly-by-wire and I flew into Denver and I had like a negative 515, and he had to, because anything over 500 you have to reject, and so he rejected that one, so I had to end up doing it again. But yeah, that was basically about how my landing was with the fly-by-wire. For some reason, I don't know if it's just because it sets up a little higher, or maybe my view is a little different than what I'm used to in the CRJ, but it was not a good landing, carrying too much speed. Even though these airliners are much bigger and heavier, you can still float them. You can still carry way too much speed in. It's all landing is being able to manage that momentum that you got going. Well, Matt, thanks for sticking around, man. I appreciate it. That was a lot of fun to have someone to chat with, and good luck on your pre-solo test, and hopefully you kill it tomorrow, and hopefully you feel a lot better. It's one of the checklists that you got to go through, the I'm safe, illness, medical, and yeah, I'm safe, and then sleep, and A is for alcohol, F is for feelings, how are you feeling, and then E is for external pressures around you. So go through that I'm safe checklist. I just rejected a negative 600 feet. Alright, well, so I guess 200 isn't too bad, but still, for me, I'm a little upset with that. That's pretty bad. Hey, thanks you too, buddy. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. And here in just a little bit, we'll get to the gate, and we will shut her down and go to bed, and hopefully do, even though tonight was the night for the doubles, so the double points, but I ain't got time to do another one, so just like usual, we'll go find the closest gate and we will park at it. Actually, it's negative 664. Well, I mean, hey, they got to start somewhere, right? Turn off our landing lights, because normally we'd have a marshaller. This van's going to pull out right in front of me. Yep, you go right ahead, van. We'll wait for you, buddy. Oh, you're going to take my parking spot. Alright, cool. Oh, literally, you're going to take my parking spot. Right where the nose has to be. Good thinking, buddy. Yeah. Wonder if you'll end up moving if we nose up to you. You have a flash of the taxi lights. Oh, he ain't moving, is he? Alright. Well, we're just gonna nose the nose up to you. Alright, there we are. We made it. Alright. Shut down, parking brake is set, throttles are off. Passenger signs are off. Boost pumps are off. Hydraulic pumps are off. Beacon off. Nose wheel steering is off. IRS 1 and 2. And ELT is off. External lights off. That's all off. APU stop. Alright, well, we did it successfully. We made it here, so appreciate you guys joining along. And as always, blue skies and tailwinds. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night.